Listen to me, chosen one, because this is not a coincidence. You are here because the Spirit led you here. Do not think for a moment that you stumbled into these words by chance. These words are a mirror of what your soul has always known but has been waiting for confirmation. And so I say it boldly to you. They tried to destroy you, but they failed. They tried to silence you, but your voice could not be buried. They tried to strip you of your identity, but the promise of God wrapped itself around your destiny like a cloak of fire. You are still here, breathing, rising, walking forward with scars that testify not of your defeat, but of your survival. That survival alone is proof that you are the chosen one. Think back to the nights when you cried out in silence, when no one saw, when no one even cared to understand. There were moments when you felt like the walls were closing in, when betrayal pierced you deeper than any blade, when loneliness screamed so loud in your soul that you questioned your very existence. And yet, despite it all, you didn't collapse into the darkness. That was not by accident. That was because a hand greater than yours held you. God Himself marked you, shielded you, whispered into your spirit, "Not yet. This is not your end. There is more for you." And that more is why you are here right now, listening to words that seem to speak directly into your hidden history. You see, being chosen has never been about comfort. It has never been about an easy life. The chosen ones are often the most misunderstood, the most attacked, the most rejected, because your very existence challenges the powers of darkness. You carry a light that others cannot ignore. Even when you don't try, you radiate something they can't explain. And for some, that light feels like an accusation, like a reminder of what they lack. That's why they came against you. Not because you did wrong, but because your very being carries the fragrance of God's promise. Let me tell you something they don't want you to realize. If you were ordinary, they would have left you alone. If you were just another face in the crowd, your name would never have been whispered in rooms where plots were designed against you. If you had no calling, no oil, no spiritual mantle, they would never have wasted their energy on trying to bury you. The fact that they tried so hard, the fact that so many forces gathered in secret to shut your light down, is the very evidence that you are extraordinary. You are marked by heaven. Do you remember how the attacks came? Not all at once, but in waves, sometimes subtle, sometimes direct. A friend suddenly turned into an enemy. A co-worker schemed behind your back. Family members, the very ones you hoped would protect you, seemed blind to your pain or even joined in the cutting words. And then there were the invisible battles, the inner torment, the nights you couldn't sleep, the heaviness that pressed on your chest as if unseen hands were trying to choke your spirit. Yet through all of this, there was always something deep inside that refused to die. That was the promise. That was the covenant. I need you to understand this. Your story is not one of defeat. It is one of divine strategy. God allowed certain things to happen not to destroy you, but to carve you, to strengthen you, to awaken you to the magnitude of what you carry. Had you never been betrayed, you wouldn't know how strong loyalty feels. Had you never been rejected, you wouldn't have learned how to walk alone with God. Had you never been broken, you would never understand what it means to be healed by the one who created you. Every scar is not evidence of failure. It is evidence that you endured what others could not survive. There were moments when your enemies thought they had won. They watched you stumble. They saw the tears. They whispered, "It's over for them." Some even celebrated your pain, but they underestimated the promise. They forgot that the word of God never returns void. And so, while they rejoiced in your supposed downfall, heaven was quietly rearranging everything in your favor. The very pit they dug for you is about to become the ground from which you rise higher than they ever imagined. That is why the storm couldn't take you out. That is why the depression couldn't keep you locked in. That is why death itself passed over you, because you still have a destiny to fulfill. Chosen one, listen carefully. The pain you endured was never wasted. It was the price of transformation. Diamonds are only formed under pressure. Gold is only refined by fire, and your life is the living evidence of that spiritual law. They tried to break you, but instead they broke the shell around your true power. They tried to bury you, but they only planted you deeper in the soil where your roots could grow stronger. What they thought was the end was only the beginning of your revelation. Do you not see it now? You are still standing, bruised perhaps, but not broken, wounded but wiser, tired but unstoppable. And the reason is this: the promises of God cannot be canceled by human hands. The word spoken over your life existed before the foundation of the world. It was etched into eternity, and no plot, no gossip, no betrayal, no curse, no weapon could erase it. You are divinely protected because you are divinely assigned. And that assignment is why you had to go through what you went through, because God was training you in the shadows for a victory that will be displayed in the light. Now take a deep breath, chosen one, because this is the truth you've been waiting to hear. You were never abandoned. You were never forgotten. Every tear you cried was collected. Every pain you felt was noted. Every injustice you endured was recorded in the book of heaven. And the same God who saw you in the pit is about to raise you to the palace, not because of your own strength, but because the promise cannot lie. This is why the story of your life feels different. This is why others could do the same things you did and escape without consequence, but you couldn't. This is why your journey has been heavier, your nights darker, your battles fiercer, because your calling is higher. You were chosen for a mission that requires endurance, wisdom, and unshakable faith. And now, after all the trials, after all the tears, after all the silent seasons, the Spirit of God declares, you survived what was meant to destroy you because the promise had to prevail. Chosen one, when you look back at the battles of your life, you might still feel the weight of those wounds. Some of them cut so deep, you wondered if you would ever recover. And yet here you are, still breathing, still moving, still carrying a flame inside that no one could extinguish. That alone should tell you something. You were never fighting ordinary battles. The war waged against you has always been spiritual. You were targeted not because of what you did, but because of what you carry. There were times you thought it was just bad luck, just unfortunate circumstances, but no, look closer. The attacks had a pattern. Every time you stepped toward growth, something tried to pull you back. Every time you began to shine brighter, some force arose to dim your light. That is not coincidence. It is resistance. Darkness always recognizes the light before the light recognizes itself. And so the enemy tried to weaken you before you realized the strength that was already in you. Think about the seasons when betrayal came suddenly. You opened your heart to someone, trusted them with pieces of your soul, and they used that access to wound you. At first, it shattered you because you could not understand why those you loved most turned against you. But now you can see God was revealing to you who could not go with you into the next season. Not everyone deserves access to the table God is preparing for you. Not everyone can handle the oil on your life. And so those battles, though painful, were necessary separations. And let us not forget the unseen battles, the ones that no one else knew about. Those nights when your body was restless, when fear crept into your chest, when anxiety gripped you so tightly that you could hardly breathe. There were voices in your head whispering, "Give up, let go, it's not worth it." But another voice, quieter yet stronger, echoed within your soul, "Hold on, just one more step, do not surrender now." And somehow, against the weight of everything pressing against you, you kept moving. That was not your strength. It was God's hand and carrying you through the valley of shadows. The truth is, chosen one, you have been through battles that others wouldn't have survived. You've endured storms that would have sunk weaker vessels. People look at you and see only your calm presence now, but they have no idea of the wars you fought in silence. They don't know the nights you were on your knees, the mornings you rose with tears still on your face, but determination in your spirit. They don't know how many times you wanted to quit, But something inside whispered, "This is not the end." That something was God. And now, listen closely, heaven has seen it all. Every injustice, every betrayal, every false accusation, every scheme plotted behind your back, none of it escaped God's eyes. He saw the way they tried to tear you down. He heard the words spoken in rooms where your name was mentioned in mockery. He watched as they celebrated your pain, but he did not intervene right away, not because he was absent, but because he was setting the stage. The battle you endured was not just about survival, it was about testimony. And now, as the dust of those storms settles, your testimony will shine like gold refined by fire. You see, the ones who came against you underestimated the resilience of someone protected by covenant. They assumed that one betrayal would break you, that one setback would silence you, that one disappointment would destroy your hope. But you rose again. They threw stones, but you built an altar. They tried to chain you, but you broke free. They pushed you down, but each time you came back stronger, wiser, more dangerous to the forces of darkness. That is why they fear you, chosen one, because no matter what they throw at you, you cannot be stopped. Right now, even if you cannot see it, your adversaries are trembling, because they realize you are still here. They see that the weapons they formed did not prosper. They see that the traps they set became their own downfall. They see that the person they thought was weak has become unshakable. And now fear grips their hearts because they know what happens next, your rise. Do you feel it in your spirit? That pull, that stirring deep inside you, it is the signal that your time of elevation is near. All those hidden battles were not wasted energy. They were preparation. Like a soldier in training, every struggle sharpened your spirit. Every rejection trained your endurance. Every silent tear expanded your capacity for compassion and wisdom. Now you are no longer who you used to be. You have become a vessel capable of carrying the weight of glory God is about to release into your life. And let me tell you, the same people who tried to destroy you will have no choice but to witness your rise. They won't understand it. They won't be able to explain it, but they will have to watch as God's hand lifts you above the ashes, because your victory will not be private, it will be public. The same eyes that saw your humiliation will see your restoration. The same voices that mocked you will witness your exaltation. Chosen one, do not let your heart grow bitter from the battles. Do not allow anger or resentment to pollute your spirit. Understand this, they were never really fighting you. They were fighting what you represent. They were fighting the light, the calling, the promise that rests on your life. But how can darkness defeat light? How can lies overturn truth? How can human schemes cancel divine plans? They cannot. And that is why you are still here. Lift your head, for your season of trembling is ending, and now it is your enemies who tremble. Not because of who you are in the flesh, but because of the God who stands behind you. They recognize that nothing they do can stop what has already been ordained. They realize too late that by attacking you, they only pushed you deeper into destiny. And now your rise is inevitable. This is the truth. You are about to step into a chapter where the very battles that once seemed to break you will become the foundation of your greatest strength. You will speak, and others will feel the power of your testimony. You will walk, and doors will open that no man can shut. You will stand, and those who plotted against you will shrink back in fear, because they will know, without a doubt, you are chosen, you are covered, and you are unstoppable. Chosen one, there comes a point when God says, enough. He allows the testing for a season. He permits the fire for a time, but he never abandons the promise. There is a divine clock in heaven, and when it strikes the appointed hour, everything shifts. You have reached that hour. The season of silence is ending, and justice is about to roar like thunder. The very things that were hidden in darkness will now be exposed in the light. Every lie told about you will collapse under the weight of truth. Every scheme crafted in shadows will be revealed for what it truly was. God is about to make public what he has seen in private, and your vindication will not be whispered, it will be undeniable. Look at the pattern of Scripture. Joseph was thrown into a pit by his brothers, sold as a slave, falsely accused, and locked in prison. For years, it looked as though the promise over his life had been buried. But suddenly, in one day, the king summoned him from the dungeon and placed him in the palace. What seemed like endless humiliation was turned into divine elevation. That is the very principle at work in your life right now. The years of pain, rejection, and silence have only set the stage for a reversal so great it will leave both your enemies and your friends speechless. Understand this: God is not just going to restore what you lost, he is going to multiply it. The setback was not subtraction, it was set up for multiplication. The time you thought was wasted will return to you, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. The tears you cried in the night have been stored in the cup of heaven, and now they are about to be poured back into your life as blessings you cannot contain. Every weapon that was formed against you has been broken, and now the very energy your enemies use to harm you will be redirected to elevate you. Do you feel the weight of this moment? This is not just another encouragement. This is a prophetic declaration. The tables are turning. Those who mocked you will marvel at you. Those who rejected you will regret what they did. Those who tried to bury you will be forced to acknowledge that the hand of God is on you. And here's the part that will truly silence them. Your rise will not come by manipulation, not by revenge, not by your own striving. It will come by the undeniable favor of God. They will look at you and say, "This had to be God, because nothing else could explain it." But let us pause here, because I know your heart. I know you are weary. I know there are days when even hearing about promises feels heavy, because you've been waiting so long. I know you've whispered to yourself, "But when, Lord, how much longer?" And I want you to hear this clearly. Delay is not denial. The silence of heaven was not absence, it was alignment. While you were waiting, heaven was working. While you were crying, angels were arranging. While you were questioning, God was constructing a stage so that when the promise manifests, it cannot be denied. The magnitude of your destiny required time, and now the time has come. Chosen one, I need you to let this truth sink deep. The same God who saw you endure will now cause others to see you emerge. Your vindication will be visible, your elevation will be undeniable, and your story will become a testimony that heals others. This is why you cannot give up now. You cannot stop at the edge of breakthrough. You cannot surrender when you are so close to the unveiling of what heaven has been preparing. And here is where the beauty of God's justice shines brightest. He doesn't just lift you up, he lifts you up in such a way that it becomes a witness to others. Your life becomes a living sermon. Your survival becomes someone else's hope. Your rise becomes a prophecy fulfilled in the sight of many. This is not just about you. This is about every person who will look at your story and realize that if God could do it for you, he can do it for them too. Let me tell you something you may not have considered. Your enemies are part of your testimony. Their schemes, their gossip, their attacks, they all become the backdrop against which God paints his masterpiece. Without Goliath, David's stone would have been just a rock. Without Pharaoh, Moses' staff would have been just a stick. Without betrayal, Jesus' cross would not have been the door to resurrection. So do not despise the battles, for they have only set the stage for a greater glory. But now, chosen one, it is time to rise. Not just internally, not just in silence, but outwardly, visibly, boldly. This is the season where you walk into the fullness of your calling without fear. This is the season where you speak without apology, where you move without hesitation, where you embrace your identity as God's chosen without shrinking back for the comfort of others, because your victory is not meant to be hidden. It is meant to be displayed as a banner of God's faithfulness. So I call you now, step into it. Step into the boldness that is already yours. Step into the identity that has always been yours. Step into the victory that heaven has already sealed. Do not wait for permission from those who once doubted you. Do not wait for validation from those who once rejected you. The only validation you need is the mark of God upon your life, and that mark is unshakable. Chosen one, lift your eyes. The season of humiliation is over. The season of hidden battles is ending. The season of silence is closing. Justice is on its way, restoration is rising, and favor is about to crown your life in ways that eyes have not seen and ears have not heard. Your assignment is to believe it, to walk in it, and to not let the scars of the past define your future. Take this as your call to action. Do not hide anymore. Stand tall in the truth of who you are. Speak your testimony. Share your light. Let your story pour out like oil, because someone else's healing is hidden in your words. Step into opportunities with boldness. Dare to dream again, to hope again, to love again, because the worst is behind you and the best is yet to come. The enemy tried to destroy you, but the promises of God have prevailed, and now it is your time to shine. Chosen one, let us go deeper now, because it is not enough to know that you survived. It is important to understand why the battles came against you in the first place. If you do not understand the strategy of darkness, you may confuse the attacks with personal failure. But hear me, the fact that you were targeted is evidence of your calling, not proof of your weakness. The enemy does not waste weapons on empty vessels. The greater the resistance, the greater the destiny. Why did they try so hard to destroy you? It was not about your personality, your looks, or even your mistakes. It was about the spiritual imprint you carry. You have a mark on your life, a light, an oil, a frequency that announces to both realms, visible and invisible, that you are chosen. And when darkness sees that light, it reacts violently because your very presence threatens the structures of control it has built. That is why you have felt opposition at every stage of your life, even in moments when you weren't seeking it. You could walk into a room quietly, and still eyes would turn, hearts would shift, whispers would begin. Not because of what you said, but because of what you carry. Now here is the paradox. God allows the attacks because they refine you, but He never allows them to destroy you. This is the mystery of divine law. A seed cannot grow without being buried. Gold cannot shine without fire. Muscles cannot strengthen without resistance. And so your life has followed the same law. The betrayal, the rejection, the storms, they all pressed against you, but in pressing, they pushed out the greater version of you. You are not weaker because of what happened. You are stronger. You are not broken because of the pain. You are awakened. You are not less because of the losses. You are more because what remains after the storm is pure, unshakable, and real. But let us also examine the psychology of those who opposed you. Why did they feel threatened by someone who only wanted to shine authentically? Why did they scheme against you when all you offered was love, kindness, and light? The truth is, chosen one, your existence exposed their shadows. Some people cannot celebrate your light because it reminds them of the darkness they refuse to face. Your courage highlights their cowardice. Your resilience magnifies their weakness. Your authenticity unmasks their deception. And instead of being inspired to grow, they chose the easier path, to attack you, to project their insecurities onto you, to try to diminish you so they could feel taller. Do you see the pattern? They were never fighting you. They were fighting their own reflection, and you became the mirror. Their jealousy was not born because you tried to take anything from them. It was born because you carried something they could never touch, the divine signature of being chosen. That signature is not earned, it is not learned, it is given by heaven. And because they could not steal it, they tried to destroy it. This is why forgiveness is so powerful. Not because what they did was excusable, it wasn't, but because understanding their psychology sets you free from bitterness. You realize that their attacks were less about you and more about their own fear, insecurity, and blindness. And when you see it that way, you no longer carry the weight of resentment. You rise above it, not by denying the pain, but by transcending it. That is the true mark of the chosen, your ability to turn wounds into wisdom, pain into power, and rejection into redirection. Now let us connect all of this to your soul's mission. You see, you were not chosen to live a comfortable life. You were chosen to live a significant life, and significance is born in the fire. The attacks you faced prepared you to carry out a mission that ordinary people could not endure. Because you know what it means to be betrayed, you will carry a compassion for others that cannot be faked. Because you know what it means to be broken, you will carry a healing presence wherever you go. Because you know what it means to walk through darkness, your very testimony will be light for those still trapped in shadows. Your mission is not just about personal success. It is about transformation. You are here to shift atmospheres, to break cycles, to disrupt generational curses, to carry wisdom that others desperately need. And that mission required you to walk through the very things you now hate, because without those experiences, you would not have the depth of understanding you carry today. Every scar on your soul is now a tool in your hand. Every tear is now oil that flows when you speak life into others. Every loss has become a lesson that equips you to guide those who feel lost themselves. This is why you were never allowed to quit, even when you wanted to. This is why heaven sustained you when your own strength failed. Because your life is not just about you. It is about the countless lives your story will impact. You carry a mission etched into eternity, a purpose woven into your DNA, and no amount of attack could erase it. The enemy saw glimpses of that mission and tried to abort it early. But here you are, alive, awake, and aware. That alone is victory, chosen one. Let me leave you with this truth. The paradox of your life is that what was meant to destroy you has only revealed you. The hatred revealed your love. The rejection revealed your resilience. The betrayal revealed your loyalty. The storm revealed your anchor, and all of it together has revealed the depth of your calling. You are not random. You are not overlooked. You are not forgotten. You are here because you are needed. And soon, when people look at you, they will not just see a survivor, they will see a messenger. They will not just see someone who endured, they will see someone who was refined. They will not just see scars, they will see a living prophecy. Proof that God's promises prevail even in the midst of fire. Chosen one, your soul's mission is unfolding even now. Step into it boldly. Do not shrink back to make others comfortable. Do not dim your light to protect fragile egos. Do not silence your voice out of fear of rejection. You were not chosen to blend in. You were chosen to stand out. And the very attacks that once confused you now confirm it. You are chosen for something greater than you can yet imagine. Chosen one, take a moment and breathe this in. After everything you've endured, after all the storms, after every betrayal, after every season of silence, you are still here. That alone is evidence that you are marked, covered, and chosen. The story of your life could have ended in those dark valleys, but it didn't. And it didn't because heaven has a stake in your destiny. The promises of God over your life are stronger than any weapon that has ever been formed against you. They tried to destroy you, but the promises prevailed. They tried to bury you, but the seed within you was too powerful to remain hidden. They tried to silence you, but your voice was written into eternity long before you spoke your first word. Understand this: you are stepping into a season of divine unveiling. The curtain that has kept you hidden is about to be lifted. You will walk into rooms you once only dreamed of. You will encounter opportunities that others said you would never have. You will find relationships restored, doors opened, resources released, all because the hand of God is resting upon your life. The pain you carried has not been wasted. It has prepared you for the weight of glory that is now being poured upon you. And yet, even in this moment of rising, I urge you not to forget the lessons of the wilderness. It was in the wilderness that you learned resilience. It was in the wilderness that you discovered the voice of God. It was in the wilderness that you realized who was truly for you and who was not. Carry those lessons with you because they are treasures. Do not despise them, for they are the very things that will keep you humble when the elevation comes, grounded when the blessings overflow, and compassionate when you encounter others still trapped in battles you've already overcome. Chosen one, the positive outcomes that lie before you are not small. They are abundant. You will see breakthroughs in places where you were once blocked. You will see favor in areas where you were once rejected. You will see healing in wounds that once seemed permanent. You will see joy return to places where sorrow once lived. And when these things unfold, remember, they are not random. They are the manifestation of the promises that have always hovered over your life. But here is the call to action. Do not hide your story. Do not minimize what you've been through just to keep others comfortable. Your scars are sacred. They are evidence of survival, but more than that, they are evidence of God's faithfulness. Share them, speak them, let your story pour out like living water, because there are souls waiting for your testimony. They need to know that survival is possible. They need to hear that pain can turn into power. They need to see in you what they cannot yet see in themselves. Hope. Walk boldly into your mission, chosen one. Pray with authority. Speak with confidence. Love without fear. Move without hesitation. Because the same God who carried you through the fire is the same God who now crowns you with favor. And no one, not enemy, not hater, not betrayer, can take away what God Himself has placed upon your life. And now I leave you with this reassurance. Your future is safe. Your steps are ordered. Your destiny is secure. You may still face storms, but they will not shake you. You may still encounter enemies, but they will not defeat you. You may still feel moments of weariness, but you will never again be overcome. For the battle is no longer about survival. It is about victory, testimony, and fulfillment. Chosen one, lift your head. The ashes of your past no longer define you. The voices of your enemies no longer control you. The shadows of your wounds no longer bind you. You are stepping into a season of light, a season of elevation, a season of divine revelation. And as you go forward, may your life become a living prophecy, a walking testimony that no power on earth or in hell could destroy what God has promised. So walk in peace, walk in strength, and walk in joy. And as you do, remember these words: you are chosen, you are covered, and you are destined to rise. Nothing can stop you now.